Hi there, my name is Isabel, nice meeting you. In this video, I'm making a reversible crop top with little straps. This is the final tutorial of a series of 3 tight crop tops. There is one with a square neck and another one which is a racer back tank top. These two are pretty easy to make, but this last one, which is reversible, gets a bit technical. Fear not, it's not that hard. And even if it were, I kind of suspect you to be into these sort of things. Hard things? Oh god.
This is a sewing tutorial, Isa. It's not some woodworking workshop here.
Oh my gosh, apologies. You'll need some jersey fabric with 95% of cotton and 5% of elastan. I'm going to be reinforcing the straps with this rubber elastic, which are commonly used to make swimwear. If you don't have them, you don't need them. I'm just afraid that the elasticity of my fabric might fade off. The pattern is composed of 2 parts, the front and the back, and each part must be cut twice since we're making the top reversible. We've got 1 centimeter of seam allowance everywhere. Don't forget to make notches in your fabric for the strap positions and also the notches in the middle of your front and back parts. We're going to start by making the straps. Fold them right sides together. You sew with a 5mm seam allowance using a zigzag stitch. I turn them back with a loop turner and I insert the elastic through them. Once you've cut the front and the back parts, this is what you should have in front of you. I've lost some original footage of the project, so I filmed again with some miniature-sized parts. You'll take your first color of front and back parts, you lay them on top of one another right sides together, and you sew the sides using a zigzag stitch. And then you do exactly the same thing with your second color, so mine is blue. Now I've got 2 sort of tubes in front of me, and I'm going to insert the blue one in the green one, right sides touching. You pin the 2 layers together. We're going to pin our straps in place in the back only. Once everything is placed well, sew from one bust via the back to the other bust. Here, your attention please. You will start your seam with a straight stitch on about 2 centimeters, and then you continue with the zigzag. And once you're about 2 centimeters from the end of the seam, you switch back to the straight stitch. This is just to avoid as much thickness as possible in this area when turning the fabric upside down later. And also, second thing, you want to make some back and forth stitches where the straps are to secure them well. Okay, I've got my original footage back. So you're gonna cut the excess strap fabric if there are any, and now you connect the straps to the front, place them well, make sure they're not twisted. Pin the front and sew. Okay, let me show you what we've got so far. Notice that I have folded my seam allowance in opposite directions. This is again to avoid as much thickness as possible. I'm cutting a bit of fabric off the seam allowance around the straps in the front before turning the top upside down. And now this is our last step, which is the one that I announced at the beginning as being a bit technical. We're going to close the bottom seam of the top. I'm pinning the seam allowance down so they're not twisted. I am marking the 2 fronts with pins, and I'm going to connect the 2 as shown on the screen. It's not exactly easy to describe with words, so I'm going to let you observe. And what you want is to have the 2 fronts against one another right sides together. It's going to form a sort of sausage, and at this point I'm just concentrating on matching the middle notches and the sides together. You pull the fabric and you pin all around. And the sausage is ready to be sewed. Now, you sew. Your attention, please, again. Once you're about 4 centimeters away from closing your seam, you stop, you make securing stitches, and you leave an opening. Through this opening, you turn the fabric upside down. And finally, you sew the opening by hand. Let's make a close-up. See, everything is quite neat and clean, except for my hand stitching. You will do a better job than me. Here's the top on the green side, on the blue side. That's it. I hope you liked it. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and see you soon, I hope. Kiss.